Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about selling your course or membership using a live launch versus an evergreen model. So we're going to talk about what exactly each one is, why you would use one or the other, and how you know it's time to convert from doing live launches to evergreen. So after this video, if you decide that you're ready for a live launch, I have a roadmap available for download right below the video. It'll help you map out your course or membership offer, your launch dates, and all the tasks you have to do as part of your launch. So first up, some terminology. A live launch. This is when you only open up sales for your product for a short period of time, usually around 2 weeks. So the first day is your cart open date, which is going to be the same as the date of your first webinar if you're running webinars. And the last date is your cart close date. An evergreen course is when your course or your membership is available for sale all the time. Now, when I first started working with digital course creators, I didn't understand why you wouldn't just make your product evergreen. Like if you've already created it and people want to give you money for it, why would you not just have it available all the time? But now after working in this world for a little while and going through live launches myself, I understand why you would start with the live launch model. Later in this video, we'll get to if and when you should switch to evergreen. So the reasons why you would do a live launch. Number one, scarcity breeds urgency. If someone thinks that they can buy your product at any time, they'll delay getting it and they might forget. You let them know that you're actually closing the doors on your cart close date and you won't be open for sales for another 6 months or whatever your schedule is, they'll be more likely to actually buy. I have a pair of shoes that's been in my Zappos cart for like months because there's no urgency. So the second reason is incremental price increasing. This is kind of along the lines of the scarcity urgency point, but having periodic launches allows you to increase your prices every time. You can tell your audience, buy now, the price will never be this low again, and actually stick to that. So number three, fostering a sense of community. When someone buys an evergreen course or membership, they might feel like they're the only one in it. But if a community, like a Facebook group, is a big part of your course or membership, you want to have cohorts of people beginning at the same time and going on the journey through it together. This is also going to make it easier for you to plan content for Facebook Lives or Zoom calls. If you know that a group of people began your course at the same time, you can kind of assume that they're going to be, for example, hitting module 3 around week 3. So this means that you can plan your content around the material in that module for your Facebook Live or whatever it is that you're doing. So number 4, live launches give you a chance to work out the bugs. You get multiple opportunities to practice and record your webinar so you can eventually have that content available on demand. Also, no matter how perfect you think your course is when you create it, releasing it into the world will always reveal problems or confusion. You write a lesson that you think is perfectly clear, but when people start going through it and giving you their feedback, you'll realize that there is opportunity to clarify. So going through a couple live launches lets you get that feedback so you can add on or clarify if necessary. So eventually you might want to go evergreen. How do you know if the time is right? So one, you've been through at least 2 or 3 live launches. You've been through your webinar a bunch. You've been able to record one that was so good that you're ready to have it available on demand for people to view. 2, you've worked out those bugs. You've gotten feedback from your early course takers and cleaned up your product. So anyone entering into the course now will understand all your content. 3, a live community isn't as important. And this one's a little bit tricky because some course topics, just by nature, will always include a really engaged community. But here's something that you can do to kind of get around that. You create a Facebook group, and everyone who purchases your course is added to the same Facebook group. So over time, that group gets bigger and bigger. Then if your course goes evergreen, the people hopping into that Facebook group will already have an experienced community to ask questions of. So 4, you've got a solid pipeline built. A pipeline or funnel is when you take people on the journey from never having heard of you before to buying a high-value product. A live launch, essentially, is a live pipeline. You're introducing yourself to people, giving them valuable free content, and then presenting your paid offer. So if you're not doing that live, you'll need to automate it, which you can definitely do. You can do this by, 1, consistently creating original content for your audience. You're delivering value first and always. Number 2, periodically releasing fresh lead magnets. I recommend at least quarterly, a new lead magnet. Number 3, building a well thought out and targeted nurture sequence. So this is the email sequence that introduces people to who you are and what you do. Number 4, you have an on-demand webinar available. So one more thing, if you do decide to go evergreen, you should still do a soft launch a few times a year or a couple times a year. So this just means that you're taking some time to focus on selling that product. You can create a course-focused lead magnet, run some ads, talk about it on social media, just take a few weeks to push that content. So if you do this, you'll have to tweak your offer because you don't have a set cart close date. So you need something else compelling people to buy. You can offer a discount, a bonus module or worksheet, or a one-on-one training session with you. The goal of the soft launch is to boost sales. So you want to load that stack and get people in during that soft launch. So again, if you're ready for a live launch, you can download the roadmap below this video. It'll help you plot out every date and every step of the live launch process.